Good morning, everybody. Well, we're back. I hope you all had a fabulous Thanksgiving. And I know Nancy and I did, and Jonathan, Rick, Stu's, I think he had a little too much to eat because he's feeling a little queasy this morning. So Stu Stewart will not be in today. But it's going to be a great weekend. It's going to be a great show. And a lot of stuff. You regular listeners probably get tired of hearing me say this, but just when I think the car business can't get more, what's the word, tumultuous. I mean, we're zigging and zagging and accelerating and decelerating, and crazy stuff is happening in the retail automobile business. And of course, that brings the manufacturers in too. We had that bombshell we talked about last week with Amazon going into the automobile business. Now, that's something we've been joking about. I mean, I just didn't think it could happen, to be honest with you. State franchise laws prohibit it, but sure enough, come January, you want to buy a Hyundai, let's go to Amazon.com, and there you go. Probably get a Prime member discount, too. So this is a real shake-up of the automotive world. Interestingly enough, since the announcement, there has not been a hue and cry from the manufacturers or the dealers or the dealer associations, which at first it surprised me, but then I realized the intensity of the seriousness of this change caught everybody off guard. The manufacturers, the dealers, the dealer associations, and you, the car buyers. So I don't know if this will be something you want to talk about, but I can tell you this. If you want to buy a Hyundai, I'd wait till January. If you want to buy a Hyundai, Amazon is going to be selling them. And there's a lot we don't know about the exact details of that, but I promise you, if the biggest retailer in the world and the richest man in the world is involved with a company, it's going to be pretty much a competitor. And it's going to be out there to keep change a lot of things about buying Hyundais as compared to what we've been able to show you with the mystery shopping reports on Earl Stewart on Cars. So there we are. Didn't mean to get off on a rant, but that's such important news. I did want to talk about the Amazon Hyundai thing. But what we really want to talk about is what you want to talk about, and that's the reason, hopefully, we'll give this number out a lot. We had a listener complain last week because we weren't giving our phone number out often enough, and I hope we don't do that again. Shame on us when we don't. That number is 877-960-9960. Now, if you're a new listener, and we just went live in all the way south. We're in North Palm Beach. Well, we're all over. We're all over, the country. We're streaming on Facebook, and the drill, YouTube. We're all over. We get a lot of calls from all over the United States and the world. But in terms of the intensity of our signal in Florida, there's a home office here in North Palm Beach. We're all the way down to Miami now. In fact, we have some signal all the way down to the Keys, Key West. I'd love to hear from you folks in Miami. And the reason I say that is because we know the car market is rough down there. I mean, rough, tough, rock'em sock'em. The car dealers are pretty brutal. We call it the Sodom and Gomorrah of the auto retailers, Miami. So we'd love to hear from you. And if you can't call the show now, please write the number down. It's 877-960-9960. That's 877-960-9960. You've got some of the biggest rockin' wheeler dealers in the world down there. Hollywood Toyota, for example, is the second largest Toyota dealership in the world. And you've got Kendall Toyota, they're huge. You got Al Hendrickson Toyota, they're huge. And that goes for the Honda dealerships, and all the dealerships in South Florida are big, but the ones in Miami and Fort Lauderdale are giant. So tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of cars are sold in that market. And if you're getting this signal on True Oldies for the first time, we're live. We are live every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can call us at 877 877-960-9960. That's 877-960-9960. And we will prioritize your call. Sitting next to me in the studio is Nancy Stewart. She's my co-host. And about 20 years ago, Nancy and I started this show on a little bitty station called Seaview. Interestingly, it was in the same building that we are now, but the station's changed hands and it's grown. And now let's see, Vic Canales Auto Group, not the Auto Group, Radio Group, I guess what they call themselves, and it's growing and growing and growing. So if you call, she has a laptop computer there, and she's looking at it, and we have Mike in the control room, and when a call comes through, it goes to Nancy's laptop, and we prioritize the calls because we also get a lot of text. We also get a lot of YouTube posts, Facebook posts. We're on Facebook.com/Earl on Cars. We're on YouTube.com/Earl on Cars. But we love the radio. We love the telephone calls. And Nancy will answer the phone. She'll talk to you. And Rick will talk to you. Rick Kearney sitting to my right. He's our computer diagnostic auto diagnostic computer technician, but he's also a computer technician. I mean, you have to be a computer technician to fix a car today. Rick can fix or diagnose any car. So if you just want to talk about a problem you've got with the operation of your car, the maintenance or whatever, call 877-960-9960, and Nancy will see that you get the answer to your question. And she also has a special offer that you're not going to believe. If you're just listening to the show for the first time and you happen to be a female, here's an offer that sounds like it's too good to be true, but it's not. And Nancy Stewart will tell you about that offer right now.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. We've got another exciting show this morning. I want to thank you all for tuning in and listening. We appreciate you. You make the show. Our number is 877-960-9960. And Earl was talking about the Amazon. And wow, how exciting. This breaking news that we talked about last week. You can go to Earl on Cars and you can read about this amazing trip to Amazon by Hyundai. And it's called Amazon to the Rescue, and you can read the column. It's got all the necessary information in here that you might be interested in asking, but you feel, a little uncomfortable in asking certain questions, about Amazon and this connection with Hyundai. But we would love to hear from you and ask those questions, and we'll answer them. Our number again is 877-960-9960, and you can also tune in and you can grade our mystery shopping report. And guess what? We're in Pennsylvania again. That's all I'll tell you.
But we're going to Miami pretty soon with all the new listeners down there. I can't wait to get our mystery shopper, Agent Lightning, secret undercover agent, to visit some of those Miami dealers.
Guess what I'm going to buy her? A bulletproof vest.
There you go.
Ladies, I have a deal for you. A gift. $50 for the first 2 new lady callers. $50 for the first 2 new lady callers. You can just give us a call. Let us know how your transaction went, or just call and say hello.
No strings. There's unconditional. Yeah. We just want to build a female audience. So Nancy will write you a check. She personally writes a check. She personally mails a check. And you will get the check by next Saturday if you were one of the first 2 new female callers. Love to have some female callers from the real South Florida area get down there to the Miami or even south of Miami, but love to hear from you ladies down there.
Yeah, absolutely. And $50 this time of year, it's a big help. Again, that number is 877-960-9960. So buckle up, sit back, and have a great time with us. We have all kinds of callers already this morning, and we have a lot of, I can see on the live chat, we've got people from all over the place, Iowa, Tennessee, Coral Gables, I believe that is.
Oh, Coral Gables, that's great. We're looking for the Miami crawlers. That's in the Miami area, greater Miami, yeah.
I better confirm that. I'll take a look at that. We're going to go to, don't forget youranonymousfeedback.com. Take advantage of that also. And we're going to go to the phones, and we've got some calls backed up. John, thank you so much for holding on. I see that you called before the show even started, so you must have something interesting to share with us again. Good morning.
This John calling?
Yes, John.
From Palm City.
Yes.
Listen, this is a major problem. That's why I wanted to, nobody mentioned it. In November 15th, 23, a tremendous article in the New York Times. You can look it up. It's called "So Thieves Nab Your Catalytic Converter." Here's where it wound up. There's extensive pictures of the recycling plant, which is in Montana, Columbia. There's names, just like this show names dealers and salesmen. There's names of recycling plants that are involved in this multi-billion-dollar operation. It's the saddest thing. I'll give you, for instance, my daughter, her roommate in Brooklyn, twice on her Honda, including a muffler lock on it. They took the catalytic converter. Each time it cost her $500 deductible. But here's the you have to see this article because it has photos, actual photos of tractor trailer trucks full of the catalytic converters from everything, from school buses on the weekends when the school bus is parked. There's like 30 buses at one time they hit, fleet cars, all removal of the catalytic buses.
Wow, that's becoming it's always been a problem, but apparently the problem's really exploded.
Hey, John, are you still there? I think we lost John. John, if you're listening, give us a call back. Some other exciting news about the catalytic converters. As usual, they're on the rise, but they had something very newsworthy, and that was a clip that they showed where you could go to Amazon and you can purchase this alarm. And, I don't know how effective it is. Maybe Rick knows something about it. But you can buy this alarm, and it's dirt treat. And it's pretty nice to avoid these, thieves that are stealing the catalytic converters. Are you back, John? To go to Roadrunner Steve, and he is calling from Boynton Beach. Good morning. Good morning.
Both of you have to move on. We're going to go to Roadrunner Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, I got to make this quick. For the electric vehicles now, they're coming out with tires that are trying to make them more soundproof so you don't hear all the noise in the cabin. 7 companies are going to start making these tires. This is true. This is true.
Steve, are you serious?
I'm serious.
So you can't hear the other person talking, the passenger?
No.
It's to make the tire noise go away.
Oh, tire noise.
To make the tires noise go away.
Oh, the tire noise.
Vehicles.
Yeah.
Okay.
To keep it quiet.
Well, that's a great idea. With technology, you can select frequencies to block out, and there's a fantastic. Where is that on? I probably can Google that, right?
A friend of mine emailed me that because he has an electric vehicle, plus he's a car guy like me.
I got you. Well, that's really good. New technology, you just can't stay on top of it. Things are changing so fast that if you don't read every day about what's going on, you're obsolete.
That's true. That reminds me of the old joke: if you want to have quiet in the car, leave the mother-in-law home. Remember that
one? Well, that's good advice. Good advice,
All right.
Steve.
Next week, I'm going to tell you a story about Nissan. because it would take a little too long. So everybody have a good day. Thank
Okay.
you.
Have a great
Bye-bye.
weekend. We love hearing
Thanks,
from you,
Steve.
Steve. We are going to go to Howard, but first let me say I believe that was Lynn that was calling. Give us a call back. I'm ready to take your call. Good morning, Howard. Good morning, Howard.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving and no turkey hangover.
Thank you.
Okay. Question about the next generation Camry. I hear you can only get it in a hybrid form. Now, what would be the difference between this generation Camry and the next one? Because you can get Camry now with a hybrid. You get a hybrid Camry. So how will it be different in the next year?
They just won't have a plain gasoline version available. It's kind of like the evolution away from manual transmissions. Try to find a manual transmission car nowadays. It's hybrid is the wave of the future, and that's the way that Toyota wants to go.
Yeah, they got the. You remember, if you think way back to really the first hybrid, the Prius, it cost Toyota more to build them than they sold them for. I mean, and the technology was new, and now they got the cost of hybrids down so low. They say, hey, we're building these Camrys that are got combustion engines. Well, we can build a hybrid for about the same thing as a pure combustion, and the hybrid's far better. So not only do they make more money, the price is lower, and they finally reach economy of scale. You won't be able to buy, anything in the way of a combustion engine soon. I mean, you just might as well figure that's going to happen. But there's 10 states now that have outlawed combustion engine cars in about 10 years from now. So about 2033, it will be illegal in 10 states to buy a gasoline engine car. It'll have to be an electric vehicle.
Yeah, well, I think that's going too far. I don't think that's going to happen because I don't think technology is going to catch up. I don't think you'll be able to do get 500 miles out of at least 500 miles out of the electric vehicle.
Well, Howard, I think by electric vehicle, I think they're including hybrids with that. So remember, the hybrid is an electric vehicle. It's just not a complete electric vehicle. So yeah, I think you're right. It won't be all electric, but if you have a pure gasoline combustion engine, it will be illegal in 10 states. California was the first, and then 9 other states followed. California, they've always done it. I mean, and I say the same thing you did. It's never going to work. I remember when they first came out years ago with their extremely stringent, clean air rules, and if you wanted to go on the express lane on the LA freeway, you had to have a hybrid. And they really have made some great changes, I have to admit, although sometimes California makes me feel a little irritated about, I look at them as being radical. They do something radical, and then 5-10 years later, everybody's doing it. So whether they're right or wrong, they sure have a huge influence.
So do you think in the next 10 years most cars will be hybrid?
Oh yeah, it's just they would be today. The manufacturers can build the hybrids now, and all they're worried about is phasing out. To completely eliminate a model is an expensive thing for a manufacturer to do. To take an all gasoline configured engine and with everything else, including the transmission that match it, and replace it with a hybrid is you have to close plants. It's just an expensive thing. Toyota's been working at that for a long time. They did just 5 years ago they couldn't have done it, but they can now, and they did it. And all the manufacturers will be doing something similar. It'll be an evolution, like Rick said. We're evolving to all electric, and the middle of the evolution is the hybrid.
Yeah, I have one other question. Why can't they take the battery out of the trunk and put it in the under the hood? I think that would be the best situation because it'd give you more room. So when do they plan to do that?
Well, they have, right? I mean, with the electric vehicles now,
the electric vehicles, it's in the floor.
Got 2 trunks, right?
Well, the it's in the battery's located in the floor.
Yeah.
And like the Toyota BZ4X, up there they have the major conversion boxes, the air conditioning compressor, and things like that.
Oh, but they don't have the hybrid battery in the under the hood.
No.
Camry.
Because of the weight of the battery, they like to try to put it more centrally located, and also
It's huge.
because most
It's flat and wide
Yeah.
and long. It's not like a battery like we think of a battery.
Yeah.
Think of like a piece of plywood that's real thick.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, you can make them almost any shape you want.
Yeah.
Oh, can you?
But one of the issues you have is 90% of collisions, the front of your car is what's getting hit. So they don't really want that battery up front, especially a lithium battery, where it's subjected to that major impact. Putting it in various places where it's much more protected by the frame of the car is much better for the
Yeah,
battery itself.
That's a good point, Rick. And to your point, Howard, in a statement Tuesday, New Jersey Coalition of Auto Retailers, they made a statement, just as you did just now, that they think it's really an extreme decision. But there are states like Virginia, New York, Maryland, Colorado that are really on board with California.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for your information. You're always great, and I appreciate it. I'll call you next week.
thanks,
Thank
Howard.
you so much. Have a great weekend. We are going to go to Suzanne, and she is calling us from Royal Palm Beach. Good morning, Suzanne.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Are you a first-time caller?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you won yourself $50 this morning, and if you stay on the line when we're finished talking, you can talk to our control room. I believe Mike is in there, and he's with another gentleman. But you can give them your first, last, and your contact information, your address, and I'll get that check out to you.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. What can we do for you this morning?
I was wondering about the towing capacity of trucks.
Pardon me?
The towing capacity of trucks?
Okay. Do you have a specific truck in mind?
I just need the minimum. I have to tow a John boat with a motor on it.
Okay, so you're looking at a trailer that's going to be like less than 1,000 pounds with like a 200-pound tongue weight. I would look at a Tacoma.
Okay.
Well, what about how about an F-150?
Oh, I like that better. I like a bigger truck.
Well, I got to admit, Ford makes one incredible truck.
Well, I say F-150 because it's the largest selling vehicle in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it can't be too bad, right? So, but actually, F-150 is a really good truck. And,
There's a reason why they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh. Would it be able to tow something bigger?
Depending on what you're looking to tow, depends
A
on what
little
size
camper.
truck you want to get. I mean, Ford makes trucks all the way up to, for consumer level, all the way up to the F-650. And, I mean, that would literally pull a building down. I mean, it's for towing capabilities, whatever you need to tow, you decide on what truck you get based on what you're going to tow.
Basically, you go to Consumer Reports annual auto issue, and they will recommend the best trucks. They'll give you a selection of probably 4 or 5 highly recommended trucks by Consumer Reports. You can't go wrong. But most people buy F-150s when they buy a pickup truck. That should give you some peace of mind. And then if you look at Consumer Reports, they'll give you the whole specifics about all the other trucks too. And you should also be more interested in the ones you don't want to buy, because Consumer Reports will also tell you these are the trucks you don't want to buy. You can't make a mistake if you get one of the top 10 recommended trucks, but you can make a big mistake if you get the one they say, whatever you do, don't buy this one. So be careful.
And Suzanne, like Earl said, Consumer Report, what a great way to go. And in the last 2 months, the October and the November has so much information in it, and that's the way to go. Always the way to go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Our number again is 877-960-9960, and you can text us at 772-497-6530. And don't forget, you can take advantage of that text number when we, talk about the mystery shop. You can vote right there at 772-497-6530. And also you can get in touch with us with I forgot what it was. You're anonymous. Yo! You're anonymousfeedback.com. Now back to the recovering car dealer.
Yeah, the folks from Miami, did we get that Coral Gables call? You said we had Coral Gables calling?
We did, but they didn't call back.
I didn't call back. Yeah, I just, we really are looking forward to getting into that market. We didn't talk about our mystery shopping report at the beginning of the show. But for the new listeners, it really is probably the highlight of the show. Every week, and we've been doing it for years, we send a undercover agent into a car dealership, secretly pretending to buy a car, and we talk to the managers and the sales managers and the salesmen, and we go through the whole process. And we write that report up, and we tell exactly what transpired. Now, most of you know that in the Gallup annual poll on honesty and ethics in professions, Gallup's annual poll, they've been doing it since the 70s, car dealers come up either last or next to last every single year. And it's just a terrible experience. People say, I'd rather have a root canal than go into a car dealership and buy a car. So we know that. When you talk about good dealers and bad dealers with our mystery shopping reports, we found out that since we've been shopping out of state, and we've been doing a lot of shops in Pennsylvania, the smaller towns, even in northern Florida, the smaller towns typically have a little bit better class of dealer in terms of integrity and transparency. But Miami, we know that is a rough, tough market. So you folks listening in Miami, I'd love to hear your experiences dealing with some of the car dealers down there. I mean, I don't have to be specific, but if car dealers in Miami, even if you're not inclined to be a little bit flaky, you have to be competitive. When your competition is advertising a car for $5,000 more than he'll sell it for, because it's below his cost, and nobody is enforcing the laws down there. The advertising, the quotes of price, the bait and switch is terrible. So if you're listening in Miami, just give us a call at 877-960-9960. We want to get a foothold in Miami so we can send some shoppers down there.
Yeah, that'd be great. 877-960-9960. I think that we're ready to take some texts or YouTube or Facebook. Anybody have anything for me?
Well, we've got some interesting ones here. Like Donovan was mentioning on the caller about the hybrid cars and electric cars. He says, when you have an electric car and you can charge it at home in the evening and then charge again at the end of your day, you really don't need a 500-mile range right now unless you're going to go off traveling. And even then with superchargers, that's going to be, pretty easy to do anymore. And let's see here.
And Donovan also mentions the fact that you don't want your battery to be next to anything, well, the hot engine.
Right. He says it's putting it up in the front where you have a hot engine, heat kills batteries, which very true, which is why manufacturers trying to avoid that, and they'll insulate batteries. But of course, with the hybrid battery, it's so much larger that you really don't have room up front, and you would wind up with so much weight up front, the vehicle just wouldn't balance properly.
Well, the nice thing about that, the battery's so heavy, it also gives you a lot the car sits closer to the road, corners better, and
Yeah.
has less tendency to roll over.
Gives it
Especially by putting it central in the vehicle.
Yeah.
Does it give it a little more traction? Is that what you mean?
It
just-
can. But one of the major factors, of course, with the electric batteries and the hybrid batteries is the location is chosen for protection in an accident. Because obviously, if that battery becomes ruptured, now you've got the possibility of a fire, which is a very dangerous situation. So the positioning of them is very carefully chosen for protection of that battery.
Absolutely. Folks, how do you feel about that? Give us a call, 877-960-9960.
And we will go right with Anne Marie's first text here. Good morning. Thanksgiving is more than parades, feasting, football, and online sales. It's a great time to express gratitude to those who help and enlighten us. Therefore, I'd like to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to ask all kinds of automotive questions and get accurate answers. Yes, I can Google my questions, but I can't always be sure of the accuracy of the answers found on the internet. Thank you for all your help and information. Anne-Marie, you're very welcome.
You know, we should put Anne Marie's picture in our marketing because she's just about she's a member of the team.
Absolutely.
She's here
And
every Saturday.
If you're a new listener or just tuned us in for the first time, Anne Marie, like clockwork, always has a text, but not just a question or a comment, something that has been researched and has been studied. She's the most intelligent texter and just an amazing woman. So, yeah, we're thankful for you, too. You're part of the team.
Yeah,
And she
thank
hasn't
you,
let us
Anne-Marie.
down this week either. She says, and now comes this week's questions, courtesy of nostalgia, curiosity, and a touch of confusion. When I was a kid, we had 4 choices of vehicles: cars, station wagons, trucks, and vans. Nowadays we have cars, trucks, and a rather confusing array of vehicles of varying shapes, sizes, and uses that seemingly replaced the station wagon. Number 1, when did the station wagons disappear? I can answer that.
Well, good.
Mid to late 90s, pretty much all the station wagons started converting to SUVs, these small sport utility vehicles.
You know, that's one of my favorite vehicles, only because I drove one in Pittsburgh. But to what you just said about them disappearing, this week I saw 4 station wagons.
There's still some old ones on the road, yeah.
And
Well, I think it's more.
brand
I think it
new.
was more of a terminology because she made a good point. The SUVs and the crossovers and the rest of them, they're station wagons.
Yep.
They're just but station wagon became a hackneyed old name, and they decided if they could pep it up and make it sound better. But it's still a car that carries more people and more stuff.
And you pretty much just answered her number 2 question, which is, what's the difference between SUVs, crossovers, minivans, and vans? And that's pretty much got it answered.
It's
Yeah.
marketing. It's marketing. They're really station wagons. I believe there is something that calls itself a station wagon out there, but I can't remember which make it is.
Once again, thank you for providing a valuable resource of automotive information. And Anne-Marie, you, on behalf of all of us here, you're very welcome.
Yep. She's
Absolutely.
on Facebook too, by the way, and she's so much fun. It's nice to have somebody that is a thinker. You know, she does her homework, and she just doesn't send in a question until she's already researched it herself. So it's very informative.
Yeah, there you go. And on behalf of Anne Marie and myself, ladies, I have $50 for one more caller. Give us a call toll free at 877-960-9960. Make Anne Marie happy and make me happy.
And one touch of bad news, I got a text or a message in from Lance on the YouTube channel. He says, unfortunately, he won't be calling in with a song this morning. He's got a little bit of turkeyitis.
Oh, boy.
Thanksgiving must have been he must have had a very good Thanksgiving.
He gobbled until he wobbled.
So, no song this week. Let's see here. Okay. This is from Gary in Lake Park. He says, in response to John's subject, one of the biggest problems that adds to this is our national news and slow news shows pictures of exactly how to steal one, meaning the Kias and the Hyundais and that.
Yeah.
It even shows a picture of the saw. Oh, I beg your pardon. This is on the catalytic converters. It even shows a picture of the saw you can use that you can buy at Walmart for $49. Why didn't they just send everyone a saw make?
We're doing the same thing he's complaining about. We
Yeah.
just told you where to buy a saw if you.
You know what, Rick?
Freedom of speech. That's
Hey, Rick,
Yep.
here that clip that I mentioned earlier in the show about the catalytic converters, at the end of the clip, they said, "Well, I wonder if we're going to be able to deter these thieves." Well, guess what? They showed step by step how the purchase can be made at Amazon for the alarm, how to install it, how to deactivate. What? I mean, really?
I have seen pictures of.
we're doing too much talking. Do we have any calls or?
We don't.
Okay, here's one anonymous feedback. I want Rick read that out loud, and that way you'll. It's something I couldn't answer, and it's
Okay.
pretty important because Toyota, as you know, had that sudden acceleration problem a few years ago.
The flying Bentley that crashed at high speed reminded me of cars that have had a stuck gas pedal in the past. Is there any way to stop a car with a stuck accelerator or any self-driving car that suffers a computer glitch? I doubt if many people would be able to react quick enough to do anything.
That's always been that's on my mind. Nancy and I drive a Tesla fully autonomous, but the point about the gas pedal sticking, Toyota had a huge. Toyota was accused of a defect that caused sudden acceleration. There was nothing ever proven. It kind of came down to the floor mats and some other human error factors. But how do you stop a car if it just starts flying away on you?
Number one thing, pop that transmission into neutral. And number two,
Would that be a problem? I mean, can you always put a transmission into neutral?
almost every single time.
Okay.
If you've ever noticed on an automatic transmission, when you move the shifter from drive into neutral, now you can test this in your own car. Sit in a parking lot.
I can't do it in the Tesla because we don't have one.
Right, but
Electric vehicles don't have a
You can do it
transmission.
in my
you'll
Avalon.
be comfortable with
You can
this.
do it in
when
my Avalon.
Yeah. You can shift that car from drive into neutral anytime with no effort. It will simply put it out of gear.
That's number one. Okay, good.
But actually, I'm going to even preface that with the true number one is both feet on the brake pedal and hold that pedal down.
Both feet, huh?
Put both feet on that brake pedal and jam it down. Here's why. Auto mechanics we use back in the day when everybody had the automatic transmission, before hybrids came out, before we had electric cars and all this. And we still use this test. It's called a stall test. This is to test whether your automatic transmission is slipping. And basically what we do is we set the parking brake, put one foot on the brake pedal, take the other foot, and we stomp that gas pedal right down to the floor, and we hold it there for 3 or 4 or 5 seconds to see how high the RPMs go while you're holding that brake pedal nice and tight. Now, most cars, it should be around 2,500 to 3,000 RPMs, and that's telling you that your transmission is in good condition,
No.
that's a good thing, and that it's not slipping, and that it's operating, for that test, it's operating properly.
But let me interrupt just briefly. Another good thing about this is that sometimes the reason your car accelerates out of control is because your foot is on the accelerator, but you think it's on the brake. So when you take both feet off, when you put both feet on the brake, it would probably incline you to be more aware of where your right foot was, not just your left foot.
Exactly.
And that I think it was pretty much circumstantial evidence. Every now and then you read about today, somebody drives through the front window of a store and they don't know what happened. Chances are they had their foot on the brake and the accelerator at the same time.
Exactly. Now, here's one thing that came out. This actually came from the Toyota incident with the unintended acceleration, which is the technical term that all manufacturers use for it now. 99% of cars out there now, automatic transmission, if you are on the gas driving along and you step on the brake, these cars are now run by wire. There's no cable going out to the engine anymore from your gas pedal.
Right.
So when you step on the brake, the computer immediately puts the engine back at idle. It shuts the engine down to have no power. And we've had a lot of customers come in and say, hey, I'm driving on the highway and all of a sudden my car just loses power. And what they didn't realize is they were using their right foot on the gas pedal and letting their left foot hover over the brake pedal. And if they accidentally touched it just enough that it turned on the brake light, the computer would automatically stop the engine. So it wouldn't shut it off, but it would bring it down to idle. And suddenly your car is like you just put it in neutral. Even though you're not actually applying the brakes, it's just that light little touch.
Yeah.
So this actually is something that has been now programmed in, that if you step on the brake, the computer will put your engine at idle
Let
speed.
me switch gears on you. What about, I was going to say an electric vehicle, but autonomous vehicles? I don't think there is an answer there, but I think one of the psychological reasons people don't want autonomy is because we're so used to being in control. And
Yes.
the idea, it's almost like flying. You know, there's some people that are terrified of flying because there's some guy up there doing all the flying for them. They got nothing to say about it. And that's the way people would feel in a fully autonomous vehicle. I'm just maybe start a dialogue, or maybe some people out there listening have a thought on that. But wouldn't you feel better if there was a fail-safe switch of some kind that was universal, and if you got into an autonomous vehicle, there was some way you could have that sense of, I can stop this baby if I have to?
I've actually been in that situation because I went up to Port St. Lucie to the Traditions area there, and they have these vehicles called TIM.
Yeah.
And they are an autonomous shuttle that drive around their neighborhood there. So since I knew about them, I went up and I got in and I rode in one for like a half dozen blocks till it brought me back to my starting point.
Felt a little weird?
It was, at one point it was exhilarating because I'm sitting in this thing with nobody else happened to be in there.
Yeah.
No.
And there was no controls whatsoever.
You
There
thought
wasn't
about
even a
bailing
seat
out.
at the front.
You'd have jumped out.
And
No sound?
As I'm sitting there riding along in this electric vehicle,
Can you hear it?
almost silent,
Yeah.
I suddenly thought, well, what if this thing goes off haywire and takes off? There's nothing there, blazing along.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, there's a feeling where you suddenly realize you have no control whatsoever
Kind
over
of
that vehicle.
kind of like being on your first roller coaster ride.
Exactly.
Earl and I got to try that out.
Unlike being in a train where there's an engineer at the front of it, the monorail at Disney, there's somebody driving it. The airplane, there's somebody up at the front driving it.
Yeah.
This thing, there is no driver.
I don't know. I think
You're
I'd rather.
relying on somebody in a little room.
I think
10
I'd
miles
rather.
away.
I think I'd rather get on Tim. Most of the people that you're talking about are inebriated before they get. Well, that's another show. Okay, we're going to go back to the phones, but first I'm going to mention the phone number 877-960-9960, and also one more female caller. I have $50 for you, so give us a call. Karen, good morning. You're calling from Boca?
Yes.
Oh, good morning. Is this are you a first-time caller?
Yes, I am.
Oh, well, congratulations. You just won yourself $50. And when we're done talking, if you'll stay on the line, you can give your information to the control room. And you'll have to give me your address and some other things. And I'll get
Great.
that check out to you.
That's wonderful.
Thank you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How can we help
So-
you today?
I have a question. I have a Jeep Cherokee, and it's about 3.5 years old now. And the black trim paint that's on there,
Mm-hmm.
like by the edges of the door, by the edges of the windows and stuff, mine's peeling off. And I have a warranty on my vehicle for the finish, but supposedly it doesn't include that. Does that seem right?
Is that right?
Sometimes when there's questions about warranty coverage, you need to be sure the dealer is communicating with the manufacturer. Jeep is made by Stellantis, and that's a manufacturer. There are a lot of ways to get something covered by the manufacturer that aren't necessarily directly covered by warranty. There are goodwill adjustments. The best way is to talk to somebody in authority at the Jeep dealership. Be sure you're talking to the service manager. When you go into a service drive in a car dealership, everybody calls themselves a manager or an assistant manager. They're salespeople, and they don't have
I
the
know.
authority. I'm sorry?
I know, I
Yeah.
understand
So
that.
if you get that, it gets the boss and explain this to them, and if they say no, I'm sorry, I can't help you, then you say, would you please contact the manufacturer for me? Contact Jeep Stellantis. You can do this yourself, by the way, and oftentimes Jeep will respond, or the manufacturers of any car will respond more directly and positively with a customer, and they can authorize something under goodwill. Have you bought bought more than one Jeep from this dealer, or from Jeep in general, for Jeep dealers?
No,
Okay.
this was my first Jeep, and when I financed it, I got like coverage on everything for the life of the loan.
Yeah. One other thing you can do is
Actually,
go ahead.
the service people, I have to bring the paperwork in each time because they don't seem to recognize the extent of this coverage.
Yeah, you might try a different dealership. There are dealers that are more concerned about their customers, and are willing to. It takes time and trouble for a service manager to get on the phone with a manufacturer and go back and forth, maybe play phone tag or use email or whatever. And they just don't want to put themselves out. They're in business in the service department to make money and sell service, and they're not making money when they're arguing with the manufacturer about taking care of a customer when they really should. So you might just try a different dealership, but I would definitely do this. I'd go to the Jeep website online, and they have a 800 number for customer service, and I would register with them. I would also confirm by email. And once you do that, the manufacturer will contact the service manager. And now the service manager, if you weren't able to get hold of them, Jeep will be able to. Well, that's the best you could do. If it's not technically covered under your warranty, they don't have to fix it. But they can and often will to create a happy customer and hope that you'll buy another Jeep.
That would be great because right away they quoted me $1,500 to
Yeah.
get that repaired.
That's another motivation, sadly, that often car dealers have, is that they get paid more when they fix something than when they have it fixed under warranty in most cases, and especially when they can decide the price of what they're fixing. I mean, the warranty allowance on that, and I'm not saying this is the case, the warranty allowance on what you want to have fixed could be $100, but they'd like to charge you $200, so they won't go through warranty. They'll charge you the $200, so they make more money. And the service advisor, who, as I said, is not really an assistant service manager, he's really a salesman, he gets paid a percentage of what he sells you. and he may not want to sell you a warranty. He might want to sell you customer pay, they call it, because he makes more money. These are all hypotheticals, but that's the reason I say check with another dealer and go on record with the manufacturer.
Karen,
Right.
Karen,
Thank you. That's
Karen,
very
this is
interesting.
Nancy. What year is your Jeep?
2019.
2019. Okay. I have to mention, we've talked about warranties so often, and there's such a gray area when a person purchases a warranty. And it always interests me as what the warranty doesn't cover that nobody mentions. And for your vehicle to have this kind of damage, is it all around the vehicle?
No, it's really just by the windows.
Just by the windows. Okay.
Right.
And
You know
this.
where you grab it when you're closing the door?
Yep.
That's where it is.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, it's definitely, this extensive coverage that you purchased. There has to be something, in your favor that can be done. And as Earl mentioned, I think, with contacting the manufacturer, talking to customer service, emailing, anything that you can do to get some attention. Go to the service manager if I didn't mention him, and this can be paid for. I believe that this can be taken care of, and it can be done with goodwill adjustment.
Polite persistence.
Yes, absolutely.
That would be
Stay at
great.
it.
They've been good on everything else, I have to say. On any other issue, warranty issues I've had, but not this one. And I see lots of cars around now with peeling paint that aren't that old.
That is another issue also, but I don't have time to get into that. I have some callers, but the main ingredient here is just to stay at it, and you will be given a goodwill adjustment. I believe that. Karen, I would really like for you to stay in touch with us and let us know how that went, and if it didn't go, we can help you in some other ways.
I'd be happy to stay in touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karen. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
Okay, we are going to go to Frank, who is a regular caller from Jupiter Farms. Good morning, Frank.
Hey, good morning, guys. I was just listening to that lady for paint problems.
Uh-huh.
Maybe remember in the old days you had vigilantes out there waiting to help people. Maybe that might be a time that you might reach out to a vigilante and go with her to the dealership and have the power of, without being,
Good point, Frank.
cavalier, but having a male with her as opposed to just a female by herself.
Good point.
Just a thought. Just a suggestion. But no, basically I just like to call and say happy post-Thanksgiving. I listen to your show every weekend. I don't normally call in to clog up the lines, but when you said it was kind of quiet this morning, I said, oh, well, I can get on the line. So,
That's a great idea, Frank.
Yeah, but, with electric cars, it's an interesting thing because every once in a while on the Internet you see these, like for Thanksgiving, a line of Teslas that must stretch about 20 to 30 cars sitting there with no energy waiting to go to a charging station in Canada. I guess they don't have the infrastructure like we were having down here to get, their 15-minute charge for go for another couple hundred miles. And that was a rather interesting photograph. And now you're hearing that the batteries are so hard to be coming by for the manufacturers because most of the minerals that they need to make these special batteries are no longer available. They're both mostly under communist China ownership in all these other countries where they bought in the mines. So it's going to be an interesting how this all, flushes out at the end. But just throwing out the electric cars and gas cars, and I'm glad you got your Tesla, and we're happy we have our regular cars for now, and it'll be an interesting chapter in this history of cars in this country.
Yes, it definitely will.
So with that, I'll leave you. I usually have a joke for you, but I'll keep it quiet this weekend, and We'll call you next week, and you all have it's really, I got to compliment, what you guys do for the public, and I can see by the calls almost every week that you're reaching new people that didn't realize that your show was there, and it's helped them tremendously. And being from Miami, if I just had my knee replaced, so I'm really not up moving around yet. I mean, I'm kind of slowed down by trying to get a knee to work again after a full replacement. But I grew up in Miami, and it's almost a temptation for me to go down there sometime and do a little mystery shopping just on the side for you and call you back on Saturday and let you know what I found out there.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Yeah. Only if I can come in and get a free bagel and coffee one morning at your dealership.
Yeah. For now, you're sidelined, right?
Oh, I am. I can't say I'm bedridden, but I was in the hospital for a week, and then I went to rehab for 3 weeks. And I mean, it's not fun. But I finally got home, and the cats are so happy to see me. The wife is happy to see me.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see my surroundings. So
I could tell in your voice.
Days,
I could tell in your voice whenever I answered your call. Yeah, it's no fun. I had both my knees done within a week of each other.
Oh my goodness!
So anyway,
Holy
I'll
cow.
leave you with that thought. That should make you feel a little bit better. Have a beautiful weekend.
Here's a quick one. Here's a quick one. They call it PT, correct? Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
What they do for your knees? PT.
Yeah.
You know it stands for pain and torture.
There you go.
I had to get a show. Have a nice weekend.
It was amazing.
Bye-bye.
Anyway, we are going to go to Kentucky. Yeah, we got a call from Kentucky, and I think it's Neville. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
We're well, thank you. Great to hear from you. You're from Kentucky?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
I'm so sorry. Just want information about Toyota warranty.
Uh-huh.
Would you be able to say how much it is that you all sell for?
Are you asking about the factory warranty or an extended warranty?
The factory extended warranty.
Well, Toyota doesn't really have an extended warranty from the factory.
Yeah, the powertrain, I think you might be referring to.
But yeah, that's
okay.
That's 5 years, 60,000 miles is the powertrain warranty.
All right. So, but you all have like the 100,000 8 years, something like that.
That actually would be if you bought a certified pre-owned Toyota, then the powertrain is covered for 8 years, 100,000 miles.
Just on our Toyota, when we bought it, the dealer didn't have, or they didn't offer the factory one. They just offer a third party that covers wheels and tires and all that stuff. I'm just not sure y'all have anything just for Toyota only. So you said y'all don't have any?
That's one of the problems when you are buying a warranty. There are, as Rick says, there's a manufacturer's design warranty. These are extended service contracts. They're fair. I mean, I always advocate not buying the extended warranties when you buy yourself a good vehicle, a reliable vehicle. But if you want to buy one that should be the manufacturer's, the dealers have their own warranties, and they consist of whatever they want them to consist of. A car dealer can have his own warranty company, and he can write in the warranty that he sells you what he will cover and what he won't cover, and then he can also set the price. So you're at the mercy of a car dealer when you're buying his warranty. Oftentimes you don't know it's his warranty because he can name it anything he wants to. If you're going to buy an extended warranty, we recommend you buy the manufacturer's extended warranty. And you said sometimes they won't sell you that, but this is one of the reasons Earl Stewart on Cars exists, because we got dealers out there that are like that. If you have a Hyundai or you have a Ford or you have a Toyota and you want to buy a Ford extended warranty, you should be able to do that. But there are some dealers that will not sell you the Ford warranty. They'll sell you their own warranty because they can make a lot more money by selling it to you. we get a lot of calls on extended warranties, and Nancy always says it's what you read in a warranty that is not covered that is most important. And warranties oftentimes will specifically say, this is not covered. And you'd be surprised when you read that. Most people don't ever read the warranty, but if you do read it, you'd be surprised at the vast number of things that are not covered. Typically, they're the expensive things like navigation systems, electronic computer modules, things that to replace one would cost in the thousands of dollars. Air conditioning often isn't covered, or the compressor or the evaporator. So the best way to avoid all these problems is do your research, buy a reliable vehicle, and just forget about the warranty. If you're worried about having to come up with a big expense, take $100 a month and put it in the bank. And if you have a problem with your car, draw on your own account, because these warranty companies are all making a fortune when you buy them for cash up front, or finance them, for that matter, with the dealer. They're way overpriced.
And, to what Earl just said, I always have to ask what the warranty doesn't cover. And it's amazing if you think about it, as Earl said, these companies, these warranty companies, they're in the business to make money. And you really, as Earl said, have to do your homework because this can be a slippery slope.
How about the Toyota Platinum Care VSA? Is that a legit Toyota one?
They do have the Toyo Guard, but Platinum Care, that almost sounds like that might be one of those extended warranties that a dealer made up.
He's from Kentucky, so that's not in Southeast Toyota.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I brought it up because I found one. I went on a Toyota Financial. It has a VSA Platinum. It's not a Platinum Care, it's called Platinum VSA.
Okay.
And so I'm not sure y'all sell that at all?
Well, we don't actually have that down here because we're under Southeast Toyota.
Oh, okay. So
you're better off just to get on the phone, the 800 number for Toyota directly, and they will guide you, and you will get someone that can answer your question directly. But if it's a Toyota warranty, the best way is go directly to them on the 800 number or email them.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Thank you for your help.
Thank you so much for the call. Thank you for listening. 877-960-9960. No, I caught it. Okay, you can text us at 772-497-6530, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun with Harley. Harley is a shepherd. He comes to us through Big Dog Ranch, and you can go to www.bigdogranchrescue.org, and you can take a look at Harley, and you can take a look at all the other dogs. There may be one right there that catches your eye and you would like to adopt. And I must say, without every week I talk about Big Dog Ranch, and it's the largest cage-free, no-kill dog rescue in the United States. And they have so much to offer, especially for the veterans, and so much more. And you can read about that, as I said, at www.bdrr.org.
When you stop and think about it, you see these pictures of dogs in the shelters around, and they're always in a cage, and they're always looking through the bars. You always feel bad about, it's like being in the slammer. And you go out to Big Dog Ranch, and they have cottages. I mean, they have it's like a college dormitory. They have rooms, they have roommates, and now they still have, cages for quarantine dogs and things like that, but it's only a week, or they keep them for 2 weeks in quarantine. Then they go to their little villa.
Yes.
And they even have, it's Puppyville. I kid you not. I'm not making this up. There's a little town at Big Dog Ranch Rescue in Waxahachie, Florida, and you go down the street, and they have all these different colored little cottages, and the puppies are in there. And then if you go on a little further, they have the maternity ward, and that's where the mamas are in there. They give birth to the puppies, and then when they're weaned, they move them to Puppyville. It sounds like something you'd see in Disney World.
Absolutely.
And they find homes for hundreds of dogs every month, tens of thousands of dogs, and they don't euthanize the dogs. They have dogs out there that have been there for 3, 4, 5 years. So, some dogs are just ugly. People want a pretty, cute dog. But they got some good dogs out there. And sooner or later, someone finds that ugly dog they want.
Yeah, I think they just like to stay out there.
Yeah, and some of them don't want to leave. They probably hide.
They have their own. They have their own pool.
I wouldn't want to. If I was a dog, you couldn't get me out of there.
Yeah, it's an absolutely amazing place. And these little cottages, Rick, I don't know whether you've seen them or not, but these little cottages in Puppyville, they're all painted like as if that you're in Key West or something. It's such a happy place. Yeah. So if you get a chance, head on out there. Now that the weather's getting so nice, it's a great place to visit. And you can take a look at all these beautiful dogs they have out there. 877-960-9960. Or you can text us at 772-497-6530. Don't forget your anonymous feedback.com. And Rick is maintaining and overseeing all of the texts that are coming in. He's on overload this morning. He's taking care of YouTube. He's taking care of Facebook and everything in between.
Well, we do have one here from Darren Sykin who says, I heard on another channel that was talking about the Amazon selling cars deal that they did have a sample purchase and that there's a $3,000 market adjustment on it, and it's more of a lead generator for the companies that are going to be trying to sell cars.
Well, that's not true. I don't know where you got that information. There have been no pricing. They certainly wouldn't be adding a market adjustment. You can go online now at Amazon, and you can they call it build your Hyundai. You can decide what you want to buy, but you won't be able to buy it until January, and I assure you, I don't have any inside information with Amazon, but they are not going to be putting any junk fees or adjustments. The price will be the price that Amazon, through their marketing and skills and their profit-making ability, they will be pricing Hyundais the same way they price everything else they sell on Amazon, which is just about everything. And it will be a competitive price, or else they wouldn't be doing this. The thing, if I were a Hyundai dealer, or if I were a car dealer in general, the thing that would terrify me about this is, think back, how long has Amazon been around? 20 years? I don't think, maybe not 20 years. I remember when they just sold books.
Yeah.
So they lost money for almost the entire time that they were in existence, up until maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Wall Street, the stock kept going up, but every year they lost more and more money. So they were selling so much product that their cash flow was amazingly positive. So when you have a giant company that can afford to lose money as long as they want to, the pricing would scare me if I were a Hyundai dealer or if I were a competitor of Hyundai. So I would love to hear from somebody out there that's in the market for a Hyundai. My advice to you is, if you're going to buy a Hyundai, and you probably, if you shopped around, you probably had some negative experiences with Hyundai dealers, especially if you went to one like Napleton Hyundai that we have in our market here. Napleton has, I think, several Hyundai dealerships, but in this market we know of one or two. And the treatment is just terrible. Junk fees, dealer addendum stickers, dealer installed accessories, bait and switch. And so these dealers out there are really waiting with bated breath to see what happens. And if you're a Hyundai prospect and you might think about buying one, I would wait until January and see what we do know this: Amazon will deliver the Hyundai to your front door.
Yeah.
and they will give the dealer the credit for the sale, meaning it'll go through his books, and that's the way he's getting around the state franchise laws. I think you have a text there.
And also, it's amazing how Jeff Bezos is going to make everybody, these car dealers anyway, very honest, because this is a transparent and out-the-door price. Rick?
Well, Donovan says Amazon has been around since 1994, so almost 30 years now. And Darren came back in. He says, responds here with, he says, that's what they did on Car Edge, and they were showing that it did have a price adjustment on the build they did. So we'll see what happens when they get it run out, fully run out.
Yeah, here's another text.
There have been no prices given by Amazon, so I don't know how they would know about it.
Okay, so they're still in the works on.
Yeah. There's no they haven't sold any Hyundais,
right?
And they won't until January. So Car Edge has got it wrong, I think. Amazon can put any price they want on there. Don't get me wrong. If Amazon wants to mark up a Hyundai by $1,000, they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the way Amazon operates. I mean, if I feel like I'm part of the Amazon team. I buy so much stuff on Amazon. I don't buy anything at the store anymore. I mean, I can get same day delivery. I get a competitive price. And they leave it at the front door, and it's automatically billed. I get a automatic kickback on my Prime. So I'm 2/3 of the world is using Amazon.
Yep.
67%. So that's how big they are. If anyone has any information to substantiate what Car Edge allegedly sells, I'd like to see it. But even if they are marking it up, they'll adjust the price. Yeah, you should always check your price on Amazon. I'm not guilty of that. I am guilty of not doing that sometimes. But Amazon will raise their price if they can get away with it, and they'll lower their price if they have to. And they have the strength to be able to lower the price as far as they have to get the business. So the one thing that Amazon will guarantee when they start selling Hyundais and Kias and Genesis and all the other cars, because all the manufacturers are going to have to jump on this bandwagon. The one advantage will be the fact that you have a price that is a firm price, and the price you have on Amazon is the price you pay. Now, if it's too high, you take it to a Hyundai dealer and say, this is my out-the-door price on a Hyundai. Can you beat it? See, that's something you don't have now. You go into a Hyundai dealer or a Ford dealer or a Toyota dealer, and they say, are you going to buy the car today? And you say, no, I'm still shopping. Well, when you're ready to buy, come back and we'll beat the deal.
Yeah.
You can't get a price at a car dealership. Now, you can get a price. With a price, the world is your oyster. You can shop it and compare it and try to beat it. And if you beat it, buy it from the Hyundai dealer and don't buy it from Amazon.
Amazon's going to be on fire because this is exactly what the consumer wanted, and they're responding to consumers' pushback on all these practices that have gone on for so long, and it's the new way of the world. Okay, we are going to go back to the phones, and we're going to talk to Bob in Lake Park. Good morning, Bob.
You there, Bob? Yo, Bob.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you. Welcome to the show.
I want to talk about the Toyota settlement, but first I'd like to make a comment about the Amazon situation.
Yeah.
And it's from what I understand, now I'm not 100% sure because we won't see it until January, like you said. But from what I understand, is you're not buying the car from Amazon.
Well, you are buying the car from Amazon, yeah.
No, you're not buying the car from Amazon. all they're doing, from what I read, is all Amazon is doing is advertising the cars. You're buying the car from the dealer. You're still buying the car from the dealer.
Well, we're talking semantics here, Bob. Let's put it this way. You give Amazon the money, Amazon gives you the car, and I call that buying the car from Amazon. Now, from a technical standpoint, they are routing the sale through the dealer. The dealer has a franchise agreement that says that nobody can sell a Hyundai, and this is true of all manufacturers. The state law says that they have the exclusive right. So Amazon gives the Hyundai dealer credit for the sale. But
I get it. But
Amazon sets the price. Amazon sets the price, and Amazon can also finance it, and Amazon delivers it. So, for all intents and purposes, you're buying the car from Amazon.
Well, I don't. That's not what I read, but we'll see in January how it works out. But like I said, the information I got was not what you're saying. But we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. It could be that way, but but I like to talk about the Toyota settlement on the bundling. Okay. You haven't talked about that at all. Okay. And you know the story?
You talk about the Toyota Financial?
The fine that they just paid, a $500 million. They paid 20%, 12% fine on $500 million.
I think, Bob, what you're talking about is Toyota's financial unit to pay $60 million for illegal lending, credit reporting
I'm holding it
misconduct.
up in front of the camera now, so if you can see that. Are you streaming us, Bob?
Well, actually, I'm just on. I'm on the phone.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, Toyota Financial Unit to pay $60 million for illegal lending, credit reporting misconduct. That's in the automotive news, and we haven't covered that yet. But I'm glad you called. Why don't you go ahead and describe what you read?
Well, what I read. My question to you is. I think this is something that happens at the dealership. They were selling these bundling packages. When they get you what you call in the box.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And the dealers aren't paying the fine. The manufacturer is paying the fine. But these things are sold through the dealership. They're sponsored by Toyota, by the company, but they're sold through the dealership. And I was wondering why are the dealers not getting fined? Why is the manufacturer the one that has to pay for what goes on at the dealership when you buy the car? That was my question.
I'm not on the inside of Toyota Financial, but my thought would be this: that first of all, Toyota's a bigger target. If you're going to go after the dealers, you're going to have to go after each dealer. There's 1,200 Toyota dealers, so that would be a costly effort. Also. The reason the dealers can bundle and do these unethical things when they are dealing with Toyota Financial is because Toyota Financial is complicit in this. Now, it isn't fair to say that Toyota instigates this, but they're complicit. Remember, Toyota Financial makes money when they sell these products through the dealership. And the more products they can sell to the dealer, which the dealer resells to the customer, the more money Toyota Financial makes. And speaking, from personal experience as a Toyota dealer, I have a relationship with, in my case, it's Southeast Toyota Financial, but the same principle applies. I know the people at Toyota Financial, and we deal with them. It's a friendly relationship. I'm their customer because I buy their products from Toyota, and then I resell them to my customers. Now, if I want to deceive my customers and tell the customer, if you want to get this interest rate, you also have to have this Toyota extended service contract and this Toyota maintenance agreement. Otherwise, Toyota will not finance the car, and that's the alleged crime, by the way. If that happens, then I think Toyota is complicit in not making this clear to the dealer that they will not be a party to a crime. So they got nailed. They probably deserved it, but the dealer, you're right, deserved it also, and they should spank the dealer for this and say, look, you got me into trouble.
Right. Well, that was going to be my next question. Where's the oversight? How do they police So obviously, you're saying you don't do that at your dealership.
No, we don't do that.
Right. Okay.
But most dealers do.
Where's the oversight here? How does Toyota police this type of behavior at their dealers? And can they just because they paid the fine doesn't mean the behavior will change?
Yeah, they can. And that's a great question. In my dealership, and most car dealerships today, by the way, I pioneered this years ago. I have in all of my we call it the box, the finance office, the business office, where customers go after they buy the car, and that's where they get sold the extended service contracts and the gap insurance and all that garbage.
Right, everything.
And so I have webcams, I have security cameras with audio and video. Videoing the transaction. We do this with the permission of the customer. If the customer says, I don't want any camera, I don't want any audio, we turn it off. But we do that so we have a documented evidence of, did we bundle something? Did we say to that customer, if you don't buy the Toyota extended service contract, I'm going to have to raise your interest rate because they have to have a higher interest rate if you don't buy the service contract. If I say that, I'm on tape and audio, and I've committed a crime, and it can be proven. So most all Toyota dealers have that same security cameras now. Toyota could go in and pull these cameras and see what's going on if they wanted to, but they don't.
Right. Okay. But as far as them correcting this behavior going forward, are they going to be able to do? I mean, are the dealers going to change their behavior because of this or not?
No, Bob, we've been doing the show for 20 years. The dealers haven't changed the 20 years we've been doing this. I wrote a letter to the all dealers about 20 years ago. And I said, I was talking about junk fees, I was talking about dealer fees, I talked about dealer sold auctions, bait and switch advertising. And I happened to run across that blog, that letter that I wrote 20 years ago. I reran it a couple of weeks ago, and with a introductory paragraph that said, this is the same thing I'm saying today, and I did it 20 years ago. Everybody knows what's going on, and the regulators let it go. Toyota knows what's going on. Honda, Ford, GM, everybody knows what's going on, and they just let it happen. And that's the reason we're on the show for 2 hours every Saturday saying the same thing. I sometimes feel like we're boring people to death because we're really talking about the same thing they were doing 20 years ago.
Right. Yeah. No, I saw your article. It was very good.
Oh.
So, yeah, I was just curious as to why there are any repercussions for the people actually engaging in this behavior,
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I'm a Toyota dealer. No other Toyota dealer would be dumb enough to get on live radio and say this, because I got a lot of Toyota people that are angry at me right now. They know what I'm saying, and they know I'm right. See, I'm their customer, and so are all the other Toyota dealers. If they want to sell Toyotas, they got to sell them through me. We have that built into state laws. So they don't want to make me angry. If they come in and audit my dealership for how I'm selling my extended service contracts, they're going to get me angry. They want they want to have a happy relationship with their dealers. And Toyota, by the way, has the happiest relationship of any other manufacturer. They're the number one. They're regarded the best manufacturer by Toyota dealers than any other dealer manufacturer group.
Okay, well, I was just curious. I talked to the people down in Wayne Acres, and they said that their average, when they do the financing through their dealership, the car payments now, they're averaging over $800 per transaction. Do you know what they average in your dealership if they finance through you?
Yeah, we're about probably between $800 and $1,000.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty hard. So I imagine that when they sell these bundling packages, that all goes into the finance, into that payment.
Oh,
right?
sure, yeah. Your interest rate goes in there, and then the commission from the extended service contracts, the gap insurance, and the maintenance, all those, it all goes into that finance package.
Right. And what percentage of your profit comes from that bundling? Do you know? For your dealership?
Well, first of
5%,
all, you use it. I don't bundle, but
I mean,
bundling
okay.
bundling is illegal. If a person wants to buy an extended service contract, or if he wants to buy gap insurance, then we will sell it to him. And bundling is when you say, we're financing this car through Toyota, through Honda, whatever dealership it is. And the bundling is when the finance manager lies to the customer and says, this bank, Toyota, will not finance this unless you buy the extended service contract. We don't do that. We sell our products based on the merit of the product and not a bundle.
Right. Well, that was the fine was for the bundling, I think.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Right. So you don't know what that represents to the dealership that are doing it?
Right now, it's not as high a percentage as it used to. It used to be the highest profit department in the dealership. Now, with the COVID and the supply chain interruption and the microchip shortage and the price that the cars selling so high, the new car department now, the selling cars, again, is the most profitable department in the dealership. But 3 years ago, it was the finance department.
Right. Okay. I was very interested. Well, thank you for your time.
You're welcome, Bob.
I look forward to seeing Stu next week. Maybe he'll recover by then.
Yeah, stay tuned for our mystery shopping report, and thank you for calling.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. I was just looking at our coverage map, and it's so exciting. I mean, here we are, Palm Beach County, Broward County, Martin, St. Lucie, Glades, Indian River, Okeechobee, Miami-Dade, Collier, Monroe, Hendry. So we have added quite a few since our last coverage map. So I wanted to share that with everybody. Also, we are going to get to our doggy, and his name is Harley, and he is the dog of the week. And I will remind you that we pay the adoption fees, and that is a big savings right there. And Harley is a male, and he is a German King. Interesting. He's 61.8 pounds, and he's an unexpected visitor. And Harley's story began in the most unassuming way. The majestic German Shepherd betrayed an abandonment and clearly underfed wanderer into a yard where, instead of a rebuke, he found playmates and warmth. It's just, it's an amazing story, and you may want to go to Big Dog Ranch. That's www.bdrr.org and read about Harley's story. And don't forget to share the video that you're about to watch. There's someone out there that may be interested in adopting a dog. So we're going to swing over to Jonathan, and we're going to go to that virtual video.
I'm Natalie. I'm with Big Dog Ranch Rescue, and this is Harley. Harley is a 2-year-old male shepherd mix. He came to us actually under pretty sad circumstances. He was found wandering and made his way into a neighbor's yard where he was somewhat emaciated, and he found a restful place to sleep with their other dogs. And the owner actually took him in as his own, and sadly that owner was undergoing cancer treatment and could not continue to care for Harley. So Harley made his way here. Yes, he's actually a very lively, lovely dog. As you can see, he's a little bit more high energy, could use some exercise. He's pretty good on a leash. He just would require somebody that is strong enough to be able to work with him and handle him. But as he calms down, he gets more familiar and comfortable. He's definitely a barker. He's still got a little bit of boy in him. I know, you're such a good boy. I love you. He is really sweet. He is a gentle disposition and playful, as you can see, but I highly recommend one that is looking for definitely more of a family companion. He would be good, probably not with small children, but As he grows up and learns a little bit more about his commands, that he definitely will be an asset to any family. And we do offer training here at Big Dog Ranch Rescue University too. So that is something that we offer. But as you can see, I love him and I encourage everybody to come visit him. He's adorable. Come here.
He's a beautiful dog. Yeah, he's beautiful. Thank you so much. This video was just great. It's going to give everyone an idea just how beautiful Harley is and what a great asset he would be to your home. And as you can see, he needs a backyard.
Yeah, I hope you can see the video. For those of you who weren't streaming it, it is amazing how happy the dogs are out there. So if there's anything to be said about Big Dog Ranch, all you have to do is ask the dogs. When you go out there, and we weren't kidding, I think one of the reasons some of these dogs are out there a long time is they go hide when the adopters come up. It's such a beautiful place out there. So if you're anywhere in South Florida, it's worth the drive to Loxahatchee. It's out Okeechobee Boulevard in Palm Beach County, and drive out there from downtown West Palm Beach. It's about a 35-40 minute drive to Loxahatchee, and it's been an hour out there. Go through Puppyville, go through the maternity ward. There's a home that actually, I think it's a 4 or 5 bedroom home on this property. It's got to be 30 or 40 acres, and this home is where they acclimate dogs to living in a home. Yeah. So before dogs are adopted, they go into the home, and you take a dog from the pound, the shelter. They've been in a cage for 3 months or 3 years or whatever it is, and to acclimate to come into a home. Big Dog Ranch, after they are quarantined, after they are checked for any kind of illness, after they get all their shots, their heartworm and everything else, after they're completely disease-free, then they're investigated to see, do they like cats? I have to say most of them don't like cats, but some of them do like cats. So if you have a home and you say, I want a dog that loves cats, well, here's our group of dogs that love cats.
Yeah, they go through a pretty extensive background check.
Yeah,
the dogs, the people that adopt.
And they have a lake. They swim in the lake. It's just absolutely amazing. They have 2 or 3 veterinarians out there working full time. They train special needs dogs for veterans. It's an amazing. I mean, even if you don't want a dog, go out to Big Dog Ranch Rescue, www.bdrr, as in Big Dog Ranch Rescue.org.
Yes, couldn't say it any better.
www.bdrr.org.
Yes, and we already have a Harley in the family, right, Rick?
We do indeed.
And
my little girl is happy at home.
Yeah, and Rick just...
Why would you name a girl Harley?
Harley Quinn.
Oh.
They had already named her Harley when I got her.
Oh, I thought Harley was
I just adjusted it to Harley Quinn.
What a beautiful name. And Harley Quinn gets along with the cats.
3 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite well, yeah.
From the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, let's see if I can get this one to come up.
While Rick looking for his for the picture of Harley Quinn, I want to remind everyone that we do pay the adoption fees, and as I said earlier, that's a significant savings right there. So there's Harley right there. Can everyone see Harley?
Let's see if Jonathan can get this up. This is Harley Quinn with Lily laying on our couch, and Lily actually just moments before this was just licking and kissing Harley's ears. And just showing off how happy she was.
And how much does Harley weigh?
Harley's about 65 pounds.
Yeah. So there you are, folks. You can see Harley is in Rick's living room. So you definitely can consider Harley from the Big Dog Ranch.
You can't have that, Harley.
No, that one's mine.
You can
That one's
consider
mine.
Harley that's 2 years old from Big Dog Ranch. The breed is a shepherd, and Harley is a German king. Right now, I believe that we are going to get to the mystery shopping report, and we guess what? We're in Pennsylvania again. Out at our mystery shop went to C. Harper Chevy, Vernon, Pennsylvania, and Agent Lightning did another fabulous job, and Stu did another fabulous write-up on this C. Harper Chevy out in Vernon, Pennsylvania. Now
it's a lot
back
of
to the
fun,
recovering car dealer.
It's a lot of fun to compare regions of the country. We pretty much establish that the rural, the suburban are more friendly than the the more dense populated areas. We compare probably too harshly sometimes because we're in South Florida, which is just absolutely the wild, wild west. Well, I mean, it's Dodge City. When you buy a car in South Florida, you better be fully armed and wear a vest. It is really, really rough. And it's refreshing. Even as we go north in Florida, it gets nicer and nicer the further north you go. And when you get to the Midwest, Pennsylvania, we found an entirely different culture. Not up to full, A, B material sometimes. We had a C minus last week, I think, from a Pennsylvania dealer. I'm going to speak in the first person as if I were Agent Lightning. We use a pseudonym. You can't reveal the identity of our mystery shoppers, but I'll speak as if I were Agent Lightning, a female. I arrived at the dealership around lunchtime with my brother-in-law. Another thing we like about Agent Lightning is she's so into this thing that she does so well, mystery shopping car dealerships, that she uses her family. And she brings her husband in, and here's her brother-in-law, her children, and it is totally authentic. And she is so comfortable going into car dealerships that she really, really gets the crux of the matter. So she went with her brother-in-law to check out a used 2022 Chevrolet Equinox at C. Harper Chevrolet in Vernon, Pennsylvania. The salesman was named Ernie. He was expecting us. Apparently, the brother-in-law had called in and greeted us as soon as we walked into the door. Tom, that's my brother-in-law, had spoken with Ernie prior to our visit about pricing and available vehicles. Originally, he was focused on getting the lowest price Equinox, but Ernie, the salesman, made a good case for a GM, General Motors, certified pre-owned car. He followed up by emailing the information on all the vehicles under consideration. So if you listened to the show before, I say always email first. You email first, you phone second, and only go into the dealership when you're ready to buy and you have all the information. So Ernie asked, you were originally going to see a different Equinox, is that right? And I said, yeah, but we went over the email you sent us before we arrived, and my brother-in-law changed his mind to one that was certified. Ernie led us over to where it was in the lot. It was a used 2022 Chevy Equinox LT. LT is in Larry Thomas with 29,000 miles. The asking price was $22,644. Ernie told Tom, my brother-in-law, earlier he could sell it to him for $22,000 even. He told him ahead of time that C. Harper had a $449 dock fee and no surprises. Now, that's refreshing. If I haven't said it before, which I'm sure I must have, it's not the dock fee and the dealer fee and the junk fee that's the problem. It's not knowing that it's baked into the price. I mean, really, if you're gonna have a dock fee and you're gonna fully disclose it up front, there's no danger to the dock fee because you have the right to shop and compare. And you'll just go to another dealership that, with the dock fee or whatever they have, is a lower price. But it's a surprise. So kudos to C. Harper Chevy in Vernon, Pennsylvania, for advising on the telephone before the visit that there was a dock fee, and that was $449. We all climbed into the Equinox and took it for a test drive. Tom was impressed. I like how it handles. He commented, and Ernie answered all the questions. As I said, Ernie's a salesman. Tom's my brother-in-law. Once back at the dealership, Ernie inquired, so do you want to move forward on this one? Tom nodded, yes. Ernie then went to talk to his sales manager and returned with an actual vehicle buyer's order. Now, that's refreshing, too. And I don't know whether it was triggered by Tom saying that he was going to buy, and that's when they whip out the buyer's order. If you're still haggling and still discussing, that's when they use the worksheet. But the buyer's order is what you want to have in your hand to study to find out exactly what the outdoor price is, because the worksheet is not a legal document. The top line was the dealer asking price, which was $22,644. Ernie discounted it by $644 as promised. The $449 dock fee was there, as he told us on the phone in just a few minutes ago when we walked in. But we were expecting it and factored this into our consideration. So there you are. Tom agreed to it. Ernie then requested, I'll need your driver's license to move toward with financing. So here we're actually buying the car. I mean, this is a shopping report where Agent Lighting, that's speaking as if I were Agent Lighting, my brother-in-law, is actually buying this car from the Chevrolet dealer. All the dealership was quite busy. Ernie efficiently managed everything all the way up until Tom was escorted into the finance office. Before this, Ernie talked with us about extending the warranty while discussing the impact to his payment. Tom and I concluded with the way we maintain vehicles, it seems right to go for it. I'm not sure what he meant by that. If you maintain your vehicle, I would think you might not want to go for it, but that was Tom's decision. Now we get to look in the finance office, which is rare because we don't normally buy the car, but in this case here, and Agent Lighting let her brother-in-law go in, and that's because it's a real purchase, and she wanted his brother-in-law to have the privacy of discussing his personal financial issues with the finance manager. I decided to leave before they signed the papers. I don't want to intrude on your private credit business, I said, and stepped out of the F&I box. But once they finished, Tom handed me the papers. Here, take pictures for the mystery shop, he said, smiling. I don't know what happened there, but I think they must have missed that. Anyway, overall, they felt they had a great experience and got a great deal. In the end, even my father-in-law benefited because he got we call it in the trade, the auto dealer trade, a bird dog. He received a $100 referral fee for sending them to Ernie. Even though they're his friends, it's a nice gesture, Tom remarked. So there we are. We have the documents supporting the fact that there were no other surprises. There was a place on the vehicle buyer's order that could have been a surprise, but it wasn't used. Whether they use it sometimes, maybe in this case here, because my brother-in-law, meaning the shopper that bought the car, was a friend of the salesperson. So maybe that was a factor. But who cares? It was a mystery shopping report, and there were no surprises, which is a real plus. And we have the paperwork to document that. The only thing they had to pay were government fees, and that was for the registration and the paper tag and the license plate. So we have all the information on C. Harper Chevy in Vernon, Pennsylvania. We will vote on it, and I remind you every week to please take into consideration that there are no perfect dealers. Just so there's no perfect anything, especially car dealers. And so we have to grade on a curve. And an average car dealer, which is not a very good place to be, but we have to be there because we buy cars, the average car dealer is a C. If he's a terrible car dealer, he's an F. If he is an incredibly good car dealer, and I mean incredibly good, with respect to all the car dealers, then you get an A. We practically never give an A out, and we don't give very many Fs out either. We're in the middle. So keep that in mind when you send your votes in. And how are we doing, Rick? We got any?
We've got some coming in.
Okay.
Negan1 says, sounds like an A to me. And here with Jonathan in Palm Coast, surprising dealership. Let's give them an A. Bob says A for Harper Chevy. Watching for text messages coming out. Joseph Kelleher, B would be an A without the dock fee. Over here we have, here we go, okay. Pretty decent upfront price. This is from Jonathan Friedley. He says, pretty decent upfront price with no add-ons. B. Tim Gilliland, B+. Tom Steckel, B+++. Same dock fee as last week's Pennsylvania dealer. Just sell the car for $24,400 with no dock fee, and it would be an A. To Larry Rubin, we use the A through F scale. And Cliff's Picks says B. And another text coming in. It appears this dealership was totally transparent from start to finish, and for that they get an A from me. That's from Anonymous. See if we get any more coming in there. Here's Kyle in Pennsylvania. B, B, it would be an A without the dock fee. Makes me proud to be from Pennsylvania. I live in Sodom and Gomorrah now. Larry Rubin, a B compared to Dade County, A plus. Wow. It's got us pretty well caught up for YouTube. Oh, nope, here's one more text coming in. Frank from Jupiter Farm says, finally, a refreshing report. A. I agree. I say the dock fee, small, but it's there. So I'm going to give them an A minus. I'm going to give them a little knockdown. But other than that, this looks like the place that, if you're local in Pennsylvania, anywhere near this C. Harper Chevrolet, that's a place to buy a car.
Yeah, the sin, the crime is not the dock fee or the junk fee. Is hiding the junk fee or the dock fee. And that is pure deception. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even know why they have a dock fee. Why would they, when they disclose the dock fee up front, I guess it's because maybe all the other dealers are doing the same thing. I'm not really sure why they do it. The only motivation any car dealer has for any sort of a hidden fee is to hide it. I mean, once you know hide a hidden fee, it's no longer a sin. So I agree with you. I agree with all the scores. I think that A's and B's make sense. What do you think, Nancy?
I just love the mystery shopping report for two reasons. No surprises. That's the greatest thing. Transparency. And for that, I give them an A+.
Wow. That's amazing. I don't think we've ever had an A+.
Well, like I said, no surprises.
Yeah.
It is just amazing that right up front, they were told what the outdoor price was going to be. Mm-hmm. So for that, I give them an A+. Transparency. Big sale.
That would have to be one of the most painless experiences that we have seen yet.
Yes, absolutely.
And folks, I got to say, for anyone that hasn't listened to the show for as long as we've been doing this, we have had cases where our mystery shoppers have literally almost run out of the dealership with salesmen chasing them down, literally almost with whips and chains, attempting to drag them back in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's horrifying, some of the stories we've had.
Yeah, absolutely.
So something like this just is It's that burst of sunshine.
It's that hair that's on fire when they realize that the out the door price wasn't at all
Yep.
like they were told.
I thought about this just now. I should have thought about it before we did the shopping report. But I wonder if there's any. I wonder if was it C. Harper
C.
Chevrolet?
Harper Chevy, yep.
I wonder if they're doing that in their advertising too, because it was verbally disclosed. I wonder in their advertising if they disclose it. They might not have advertised this particular truck, but that's where most of the sins are with junk fees, is hiding them in their advertising.
Right.
And they
right.
quote them and they hide them, and then you don't find out about them until you get into the box, and then it's too late, and you've already bought a car basically, and you just signed a whole bunch of papers.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give them an A. I'm not going to go to an A plus. I'm just that's certainly impressive. I think maybe because Nancy's from Pennsylvania.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's just that mortal sin that I call it. And yes, I am from Pennsylvania, and it is a mortal sin that these car dealers do what they do. And the salesmen go along with it, and they really take advantage, and they could be so transparent, and the customers would come.
Now, going back to Amazon, we had Bob from Lake Park called in about 15, 20 minutes ago, and he was a little skeptical of the good that this Amazon thing with Hyundai, the partnership with Amazon and Hyundai have. And again, it goes to one thing. The Amazon price, I can guarantee you, will be a transparent price with no surprises. Everything you buy on Amazon, and 2/3 of the world buys something on Amazon. A lot of people buy almost everything they buy on Amazon. The price is the price. When's the last time? First of all, you buy it online. You have it in front of you with the picture of the price, and then you hit your buy button, and then you look, and they say it's being shipped, and they tell you the price there. You go to your account. There's no way they can hide the price. So this Amazon thing will allow you to find out about those hidden fees.
One last note here from Donovan. He brought this in a little earlier. He says, many forget that Tesla sold cars on Amazon in 2017, and it ended up being a big issue. I suspect the same may happen with Hyundai.
It might. The only thing I could think of is that I know people think that I put people on a pedestal, or companies on a pedestal, like Tesla and Consumer Reports and Amazon. But Amazon is just too smart not to have done their research on this. They don't want a lot of litigation. But they're not afraid of litigation. They have a team that they know that if we do this, they're going to get sued, but are they going to win? And if they're going to win, can they finance a lawsuit? You bet. They got more money than the government. That's a slight exaggeration. But,
well, not to mention that 6 years, that's 6 years ago, Amazon's ironed out their system so well that
exactly.
I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Absolutely. Folks, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We definitely enjoy your company. You make the show. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll be right back here next Saturday morning at 8 a.m.